Yes, people, what is going on? Welcome back to McLaren Fan TV. We are here on a Monday. It is Monday, 7 o'clock, though. We're still here. Of course, we have to discuss all things Canada. Mahad, the curse is frigging over. The Canadian curse is done.
We love Canada, guys. We now love it.
Oh, Canada.
We were from 0 to 100. We were like, nah. We're not just going to take some points here. We're going to get a podium as well. Fantastic performance.
Yeah, exactly. Not just points. And, 28. Flipping out, man.
What's that? That's 5 podiums in a row now.
It's a residency, isn't it? We need some citizenship when it comes to the podium now. Surely. In case you guys didn't know, Lando Norris got P2 in the Canadian Grand Prix. Could it have been P1? We can get into that. We can discuss all of those things there. But yes, Lando Norris P2 podium business. Oscar Piastri P4, right? Why have I got P5?
P5.
It is P5. Don't know why I saw P5 and I was like, nah, it weren't P5, was it? But yeah, in the end, was fighting those Mercedes, man. But it was just it was too much. It was too hard. But yeah, Piastri P5, Lando Norris P2. Mahad, your initial thoughts, your initial sort of reaction to the whole race weekend. Where are you at?
Fantastic haul of points when we needed it. It's so funny because on Sunday morning, I was like, I wish Ferrari double DNF, they're in the midfield. I need a double DNF. And when they double DNF, I said, this is beautiful because that's the only way we could catch them. They had to double DNF somehow. And now we're in touching distance to that team. So I think for the constructors, yesterday was massive. Absolutely massive. I think for the drivers, we never really thought about drivers championship anyway. No. We thought maybe the constructors is possible, and that's a huge leap because we scored more than Ferrari, obviously, and we scored more than Red Bull. So overall, a good day. Could have been a little bit better if luck was on our side, but this is racing, man. Shit happens.
This is racing, and I guess if you were to say, you know what, Norris made comment about this earlier. So did Red Bull, where they said, look, what happened in Miami favored Norris, and it disfavored Red Bull. And now the table's kind of turned. Where would you have rather had that race win? Would you have rather had it in Miami or in Canada if you had to choose? I mean,
I like the sooner the better. I don't care.
Yeah, as long as we have a race win, that is what matters.
I really wanted Oscar to win because obviously the whole Canada was tradition.
So bad.
People getting their first wins there, but it just wasn't there, the pace, and it was a really difficult race. Like I think that maybe it might have been Oscar's first type of race like that in those type of circumstances. I think he had the sprint race in Spa where it was raining and stuff, but this was a difficult type of race for all drivers. And look how much drivers were making mistakes.
It was a challenge. That's for damn sure. Yeah. It was a challenge for sure. Let's get into the comment section. Listen, as you brought up those Ferrari tears, let me bring up this guy right here. Rubinho, where are you, man?
Hold that, man.
Hold the L, man. Because, you know what I mean? After that Monaco high, you know what I'm saying? You got to have that misery.
I said this. I tweeted out. I said Ferrari must have done some like sacrificial lamb. They must have done something to get that Monaco win. For you to do that and then come out here and do that, that's crazy. In Canada,
it is.
That's 0 points.
It is indeed. Shout out to Adam, who says, evening from Turkey. Good result. Could have done a bit more, but only looking at positives. Ferrari had an S weekend. We capitalized and scored good points. 5th podium in a row, as you mentioned, Mahad. As you mentioned,
beautiful, man.
As well.
This is not even like 5 podiums in a row, and it's like rubbish. The majority of them are P2s and P1s.
Exactly.
There's not a P3 in sight.
There's not even a P3 there, is there? Drea, what's going on? Hope you are good and well. Saying good evening, McLaren fans. 28 points in Canada, not shabby at all. Listen, there's a reason for this comment right here, because Canada. I mean, I didn't even realize it was 2014.
2014. Jenson Button and was it Magnussen?
Kevin Magnussen. Yeah, I couldn't believe that stat. I was like, wait, how is that escaped everyone and escaped McLaren fans? I mean, I'm sure people did know, but just hearing it said on Sky and whatnot, I was like, nah, someone's trying to have me on here. What do you mean we ain't got points since 14? Do you know what I'm saying? How old those regs were.
And when I saw that it was raining, bro, and I saw that this car didn't really. Well, the car in its old iteration, this is not a good track for us in terms of a lot of stops and starts, a lot of tractions out of corners, a lot of straights. I thought the other guys might be stronger. If it is raining, stuff can go bad against us, and we could possibly be out of the points here. I was thinking maybe what happened with Ferrari would happen to us.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it was the other way around, and I can't even believe that we managed to get 2 cars in the top 5.
Like we were cooked last year.
Possibly even get the win.
We were cooked last year. You know what I mean?
And Norris got that stupid penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct, which was ridiculous as well. That was a disgrace.
It was certainly a horrible year last year, and yet what a difference it makes.
Yeah.
You know, like you said, not only was it points that we finally got over, like, you know, if you said we got 5 points this race weekend in a track where we never scored points for 10 years, I'll be like, yeah, 5 points, take it and go. But 28 points, and then us sitting here, like Adam said in the earlier comment, you know, could we have won? Could we have left with something more? Could it have been a double podium? There was a moment in the race I tweeted, I said, look, things are looking good, yeah? It's either it's a race win or a double podium.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong, you know, unfortunately for Oscar, it did fall a bit by the wayside, but still top 5 finish in Canada, you know, and mate, it's crazy. We're going to keep saying it all year, how crazy it is that this time last year we were this. And
listen, what's happening now? Everybody's saying that McLaren's got the fastest car. I'll take that. So are you trying to tell me we did a better job than Red Bull? We were absolutely SHIT last year. And now we have the best. What are they doing in Red Bull then?
But
we got a better car than Red Bull. What happened?
Does that not
the great Adrian Newey and all them man there? How we got a better car? If that's the narrative now, that we've got the best car.
It's, you know, I'm not falling for the narrative though.
No. If other people wanna accuse us of having the fastest car, we gotta embrace it, you know? We gotta embrace it.
I just don't want to get sucked in. The thing is, when I heard that though, like we were like the fastest probably on the day, in terms of with all the conditions combined and everything else, it did make me think like, so then what you know, was it just safety car? Was it just that, or was it more? Is there a reason why we didn't actually really, you know, because Max, by the way, done a great drive. As soon as he got in front, he was like, right, I'm not letting this slip. Unlike a certain George Russell.
Let's talk about the first stint. Let's talk about the first stint.
Let's go.
Wet start.
You know, the start was that not the slowest start I've ever seen in Formula One? Them cars crawled off the line, man. And then they gave Ricardo a penalty for that start anyway. I was dying. I was like, no way.
And I was just praying, don't hit anybody.
That was
Stay clean, both of you. Please don't get taken out on the first corner. I don't need this in my life right now.
That turn 1 and 2, I was like, leave each other alone, please, side by side. And I was.
And then Max was on the wets, and they were out here.
Oh, yeah. What were they doing?
Oscar, please don't crash into Magnussen, please, or Magnussen don't crash into Oscar.
Into us, yeah, because you know that could easily happen.
And I was kind of worried at the time because
why?
Russell and Max went off into the distance. No, we were quite a way behind.
I did think it was a case of like I weren't too worried at that beginning part because it felt like to me, not all 4 of us in the front 4 were not stable all at the same time. Yeah, they might have gone a bit further, but nobody was comfortable, and that was good enough for me. That was okay. Like I didn't pay too much attention to that. I did think that, you know what, maybe something will come back to us, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, glad that they didn't touch and, you know, nothing of that sort. But yeah, I mean, I even barely can't even remember the first stint because it felt like such a long
when Lando started going rapid when it started drying up.
Yeah, and he was putting in he kept getting faster slap, didn't he? And
then so it was raining and it was just Oscar and Lando fastest laps like this. Yeah,
we were killing it.
Lando kind of closed up 5-6 second gap in less than 10 laps.
Loved it. Every ounce of
absolutely closed it. Then he just walked past Max Verstappen. That wasn't even an overtake. He just says, "You're not here, mate."
Yeah,
because it seemed like those two were really struggling. You know when you're on the inters, but the track is drying up.
Yeah,
those 2 cars or those 2 drivers were really struggling in that scenario.
For some reason,
Lando and Oscar seems like our car just unbelievable. And we said that we've talked about Lando Norris in conditions when the track's been wet and it's drying up. He's the fastest guy in F1. And he kind of just showed it right there. He dispatched Max, dispatched Russell, then immediately put 5 seconds on him. Immediately. He had a 10-second gap before the safety car.
It was mad.
He was gone.
Wasn't it 15? I thought it was 15.
I can't remember, but he was gone.
He was gone because to
the point where if the safety car doesn't come out and they were allowed to finish that stint until it rained again, where they had to put the new inters on, I think Lando is a pit stop ahead.
Oh yeah, I think so.
And then he gets a free pit stop, and then he's good to go.
I genuinely believe without that safety car coming in, then we win the race. I don't see us dropping that lead.
At the point of the safety car coming out as well, was Oscar not on the back of Russell?
Right on his rear.
He was about to overtake Russell and Max as well.
To eat him.
So we're at the possibly into a 1-2 situation.
He was eating him up. He was absolutely eating him up. Let's hear what you guys have to say about this first stint. Musab says Lando getting so close to Max's rear, then George at the hairpin was scary. That was a bit. There was a lot of squeaky bum time where I was like, oh, guys, friggin' just hold it together. Ricky Bobby says Lando's time management is unreal. That first stint was superb. Without the safety car, I think we would have won 100%. I don't doubt that at all. We just managed our inters much better, and then we dropped back early on. Says TSJ awesome.
No, just brought him in gradually.
Yeah, it did. It was a grad.
You could tell that both the drivers were told to do that.
Yeah, exactly. No, exactly. Dre says Lando's tire and race management isn't talked about enough. To have the patience to wait for the right time and save the tires, others don't have. He is excellent. Do you think this race was underrated from Lando?
This was way better than the Miami race.
I think so.
This is the race that he deserved to win.
Yeah,
because he was quite literally a better driver, especially in the first stint, than Max Verstappen and George Russell.
Than anyone else. Yeah.
In that scenario, he was just gone. He managed the tires better. He overtook them cleanly on track. Something that I was told that doesn't happen. I was told that he doesn't race Max Verstappen. He would have just held station and just stood there because he's his mate, innit?
Yeah,
but at the end, we know the truth here, and he overtook him. Done what he needed to. If the safety car doesn't come out,
the
gap that he would have built, he would have had a free pit stop to put fresh inters on for the next rain shower. And then if it was drying up again, it would be quick again.
It would have been.
I don't think Max would ever. No driver on the track would have closed up on it.
Yeah, it was unreal. I mean, why then do you think when he was behind Max that we couldn't still see that form? That why is it not as simple as just replicating what was happening in the first place? So say because okay, the scenario is the safety car has come out. It is what it is. We got caught on that, right? Cool. Where was Lando at that point? I think he got third. Was he third, right? So all right, he's third. We go again, type thing. Why does it change? Is it because you're behind the car? Is it because
I think it was quick again? I think the problem. This is something to do with the car as well, guys. Yeah, I think when it's actually raining, the car is but when it stops raining and it's drying up, and we're talking about getting water off the track, we're faster than everybody else. I said this previously. I said when it comes to mixed conditions, the track's drying up with the fastest car by far. We're faster than Red Bull, we're faster than Mercedes, all of these guys in that scenario, that particular scenario. Not when it's actually raining itself, because that was a struggle. Everybody was fighting for their lives. And Lando was doing the same thing again that he did in the first stint of looking after the inters.
Yeah.
To make sure he could go again. And guess what? When it got to the end of that stint, when everybody started switching to dry tires, when Max and Russell went to dry tires and he stayed out, why was he quicker than them when they were on dry tires? Because he looked after the inters properly. He didn't cut them. He didn't do anything he needed in terms of damage, and did what he needed to do. But let's take a step back and go to the first safety car. Why didn't they box?
Too short.
First of all, it took so long. Why did it take us so long to call safety car? This guy is in the middle of a blind corner. What do you mean you're not calling a safety car?
No, that's probably where you would argue, okay, McLaren should have been telling Lando at that point, saying, look, it's taking forever to come out. We think it's going to come out. Box this lap. Well early doors. Like when he gets to the hairpin and he's coming up the main straight before the pit stop, tell him from early.
Say Logan's not moving. We need to do something, right?
I think
and apparently, before you go say what you said, Stella said there was no procedure in place prior to say if there's a safety car box, which is a bit that's just lack of preparation.
That's when he said that as well, I kind of it felt cringe because you would assume we would have something like this in place under any circumstances. I mean, look, Oscar went in. You know what I'm saying? Oscar went in straight away with Russell. So, you know, was there? I don't know. But the thing that I think what we need to take into consideration, though, more so, it's one thing for the safety car to come out when it did. But dude, the shortest pit exit, and it catches Lando. So it's one of them ones where like Lando's probably the safety car's probably come out or like it's been deployed when he's hit the last, just before the Wall of Champions. Lando's probably there. And by the time Lando gets to turn 1, turn 2, that safety car somehow has made it there before him. Obviously, under safety car rules, obviously the drivers slowed down. But had they not had to slow down, Lando would have cleared the safety car and then would have had to wait for that safety car to come and collect him. But instead, Lando collected the safety car, if anything.
Ironically, Lando was too quick.
Well, there you go.
If he wasn't that far ahead, they would have just boxed him. He was that far ahead that he was so close to where he needed to be when the actual safety car came out. When he got the notification, I heard he was like 100 to 200 meters away from the thing, the pit entry, which is just bad luck. But then obviously Miami, good luck. This bad luck.
Yeah.
But I genuinely believe if the safety car doesn't happen at all, the win is in the bag.
Oh, the win's there. The win's simply
in the
there.
bag. It's done. And the thing is, I rate the team because they sacrificed quali to have this wet setup.
Yeah.
We nearly got pole anyway. Or like 0 points. We should. The gap is so small, and the car wasn't set up for the rain.
It wasn't.
The car wasn't set up for quali like that.
You're right, but both George Russell and Verstappen didn't even do better than Q2 times. Do you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, the Q3 times by all of us, by the way, were not that great. Do you know the ones?
Yeah.
So
when you look at George's Q2 time, there was no way we were beating that time. He had 111 or something, or we didn't get to 111s once.
That's what. Let me get beat by the 111.
Not by what that was.
Not by 21 thousandths of a second. That's frustrating. Because I think they left it on the table.
They left it on the table. But what I think is, they went with the rain setup. It worked perfectly because they knew that this car works when it's raining, right?
Yeah.
But the second it went to dry tires and it didn't rain again, it was over. The Red Bull's faster than us.
Yeah.
And this is the situation, right?
I think the Mercedes was too.
I think the Mercedes was quicker than us as well. Yeah. Look what happened to Oscar.
Yeah, he got dunked.
And the problem is, let's talk about the decision with the Inters. Yeah. So Russell and Max pit for dry tires.
Yeah.
Lando stays out on the Inters. He's in the lead.
Yeah.
He's building a gap. He's actually quicker than everybody else on the track on Inters, and a lot of people are on dry tires, right?
Yeah.
He does one lap round. He's built the gap even further, right?
Yeah.
Then they do a lap again. And that, to me, I'm like, why did you have to do a lap again? Just box there. Because what you're doing is when you keep going round on the Inters, you're letting Russell and Max heat up their tires and get them to temperature. But if you only did the one extra lap, then they're still going to have cold tires and still trying to figure out the track and where the grip is and stuff like that. And you allow yourself a lap to get the tires to temperature too. So when Lando comes out, you see Max coming. Max's tires are up to temperature. He's all good. But you can see Norris is all sliding around outside pit entry. If we did that before, Max wouldn't even be there.
It's true. The thing is, they were clearly, like, Lando was clearly gassed in the zone. Because when he was doing that quicker time, the first lap, he felt good. And it was one of those ones, I think, do I remember it correctly? Was it the radio? I can't remember maybe Karun Chandok heard something. And it was like, they were sort of saying they feel good on this tire. Like there's actually no reason or no need. And a lot of people predicted that these intermediate tires will look like slicks, basically, by the time that the rain was supposed to come. And Lando was sort of, his times were against the grain. They were not what people were predicting. So he was flying. The second time he went round, though, he got even quicker, no? And I get your point totally. Like, common sense will say, look, don't let these guys warm up their tires. Because what happened when we put on our tires, we were just there. We were sliding
stuck around. And then we lost Max. Max was gone.
They were gone. Yeah, we were ducks. We were sitting ducks. So, yeah, there was that element of, what do you do? Do you sacrifice this pace right now for track position later on, if it will come back to you? I guess you had to. What I don't mind about what McLaren did is they gambled for the win. They gambled for it. So, and I don't think necessarily it was still in our hands had we pitted earlier. Does that make sense? I don't think it was in our hands. I don't feel like we had the ball in our hands and we dropped it. I felt like it was a 50-50 and we've gone to gamble and it just didn't pay off. I'm not too mad at that.
It's marginal. It's marginal, but I feel like it just gave us an extra lap where Max's tires are not fully up to temperature, and it gave us a chance where we're not fully up to temperature, right? So it just kind of slightly closes the gap to Max, even if Max is in front. If he gets past us, it doesn't matter. But what happened was it put us in danger with George, and George ended up overtaking him.
Yeah, true.
And then they had to get the decision. If George doesn't make a mistake, I don't think we finish ahead of George.
God, you're right. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse
because that worked out. That strategy worked because we jumped Russell. If you remember,
it definitely looks better
on the second interstim. We were behind Russell, but that allowed us to jump Russell, which was a perfect tactic because we were stuck behind Russell. And it allowed us to be ahead of Russell quite significantly. But then, because we stayed an extra lap high, it made it closer, so it didn't really work out. But so I understand the tactic because they're looking ahead, which I expect them to do. They're looking at Verstappen, right?
Yeah.
But you have to think about behind as well. You have to think about Russell, and it didn't really work out. I feel like if you did it, if you pitted the lap before on the inters, you would save yourself from the danger of Russell, and you would be closer to Max. That's my point, right? But it's a judgment call, right? He said, I can do another lap. Will Joseph said, yeah, do another lap. The pace was good. It's a false dawn pace because for 3/4 of the lap, he was quicker than Max.
Yeah.
It's at the end of the lap, he was not quicker. And that's how Max caught up because he managed to get heat in his tires on the long straight. And then by the time they met up at pit exit, Max's tires up to temperature. So it's really just a learning curve in these situations because in reality, when has McLaren been in these situations? How long ago? 2012? We ain't even been in these scenarios. It's not even probably the same stuff. So we're learning on the job about these type of scenarios. This is where you win and lose. And even Red Bull said, Helmut Marko and Horner said they were surprised that he went out on the second lap on the inters. They thought he was just going to do one extra lap on the inters and come out because they were worried about that. They were so surprised that he went out for another lap.
Everyone was shocked,
Everybody shocked. And it was like, because at that moment, he was the only person on inters. Everybody else was on dry tires on the track.
Yeah, it's true. Ricky Bobby says, look, 1 or 2 laps regardless, I think we still would have come out behind Max because pit exit was wet, couldn't get enough power.
Yeah, you got to be slow.
Oh, mate, that pit exit, though, was like the ice rink in Vauxhall or something. It was just, it was a different level, like getting out of there. Because even that moment when it was like nail biting between the two, and then Lando nearly lost it, as he's still fighting the car for grip. He nearly lost it and he could have easily got out. Musab says, actually, this mistake is good. Another data set to learn from. When we're fighting for the championship, not doing these mistakes then.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather them do anything now. This season, I know people will get pissed off when it happens at the time and stuff like that. I want them to make these mistakes now because at the end of the day, how are they not going to know? You have to be in the scenario in the first place. The car has never, ever been good enough to be in these scenarios where it's so marginal and you're going up against seasoned vets.
Oh, God.
This is Red Bull that's been going toe-to-toe with bloody Mercedes this whole time. And when they used to make mistakes, Mercedes used to win the race.
Yeah.
They've learned from their own mistakes. Their mistakes were in 2016, 2017, 2018. They've learned from them experiences. They've had years of training. When has our team had that? I don't know why there's an expectation of, McLaren should know. This is not the same strategy team and technical. The whole team in the background is not the same team as 2012. This is the first time these people are experiencing this.
Why are we? What is going on? Like social media and everything else. Like, why are people on McLaren like this? I don't get it.
Spotlight, innit?
Is it the spotlight?
When you have to remember, McLaren are not particularly liked in the first place. If you remember growing up, we weren't liked team.
Yeah,
we were the villains.
We weren't.
We were very much the villains of Formula One, right? And now people are obviously there's a bit of jealousy in there. Look, what are they doing? How have they come up so quickly? Look, they're fighting for wins. They're getting podiums with ease. And also, I think another factor of it is a lot of older fans perceive us as we were back then, that we should know all of these things. Yeah. That we shouldn't be when we get into these scenarios of wins and stuff like that, everything should just be in place and we should be acting like how we was back then. We were fighting for wins. Yeah. This ain't 2012. This team was finishing ninth in the construction. So this is a whole new stuff. This is a whole new generation of McLaren, and a whole new generation of McLaren team. We have to allow some grace here, right? But us as McLaren fans need to allow the grace. Forget about everybody else. We're just the spotlight's on us now. That's just how it is. With success comes haters, right?
This is it.
Look, you work for Arsenal. You're an Arsenal fan. Were people having a spotlight on Arsenal when you lot were finishing 8th or 9th? No.
Yeah.
But when it comes to like you're fighting for the title, all eyes on you.
Here we go. This is welcome to the spotlight, McLaren. You gotta get used to this. This
we're here now, and you're gonna hear unfair comparisons. You're gonna hear, oh yeah, I'm seeing now. Oh, Lando bottled the win. How? Everything was out of his scenario. What? Out of his circumstance. Let's be serious here.
Yeah, it wasn't him that bottled the thing. It wasn't him at all.
It was literally just bad luck. It's just how it is.
Absolutely, it's ridiculous. AS3 Archer says, hi, all, good result. Looking at the bigger picture. As an F1 fan, that was amazing to watch. Absolutely, it was. It was a great race. Great race indeed. I mean, you look at the first 9 races this season, and like, even when Max has won, we're not even like, this is, because it's so funny. I put up like a post, like I just did a quick, like, short or TikTok thingy about like Max winning the race. And then somebody commented on it saying, oh, I'm not even bothered to watch it anymore. And I'm like, nah, just because you saw Max won, it did not tell the story at all. Like, it was nowhere near. Because even
Max is sweating for wins now. That's 2 races now, Imola and now. He's actually physically sweating.
Exactly. So, it's not as it seems, man. And I would have that all day long.
Max is elite.
And that's the thing as well, by the way.
This is not Logan Sargent we're going up. The guy that's won like 50 races since 2021.
I've got a question for you on Red Bull though. Is the car that good? Because Perez, now don't get me wrong, I know Perez is having a bit of a mare and whatever else, right? And somebody's saying here, wait, sorry, not that one. Yeah, but Bonzo Can says, can we talk about RBR cheating with Perez? Thing is, like, I feel like what we are learning this year, what we're gonna find out this year, is that Max is actually doing probably above and beyond what that Red Bull car is capable of. Is that too far to say? He's won, I think, 5 races this season.
Ironically, I said this. He's won first 2 races. Then he won Japan. Then he won China. Then he won Imola.
And then
he won yesterday. And then he won Canada. So he's won 5 races, no?
Yeah,
6.
Yeah, 6. Yeah.
Because Leclerc, Sainz, and Norris as well. The rest.
Yeah.
So I've said this for years, and obviously it's an unpopular opinion, yeah. But I think Max is ragging the hell out of this car. He's been doing it for years. I think he's been doing it for years. And it just makes Perez look bad. Because that's how much levels this guy is.
Do you think that's why Perez got the 2-year deal?
He makes Perez look bad because he's that good.
I mean, yeah, for sure. Perez does not look good right now.
But Perez is a serviceable, normal F1 driver. We saw what he's about. We saw what he's about in midfield. He's okay. But when you go up against Max in a scenario like that, in that car, and he's driving the car 100%, you ain't going to go near him. and we're seeing that right now. Max has said this for a while. The car ain't as good as you think it is, guys.
Do you think that's why they gave Checo the 2-year deal? Because they know what this car is, and they know had they put somebody else in Checo's seat,
they can't be asked to go through that process again of somebody learning this car. People think somebody could just jump in there and be all right. We've seen it already. Gasly, Albon, now Perez. Perez has probably handled it better than those other two. The other two basically flat out said, I can't drive this car.
Literally. Yeah.
Perez tried to swing the car towards his direction and just got worse.
Mind you, if you're Albon, you're thinking, hang on a minute. Surely I could have a seat here. You know what I mean? I helped build this car. Lest we forget.
Yeah. I think Albon was unfairly treated because he just got basically thrown out of the program in that sense. He made a reserve driver. He wasn't put back in the AlphaTauri like how Gasly was. So the room for him to go back to Red Bull wasn't there. But apparently he got offered a deal for 2026 anyway. And I think Perez is just a fail-safe because it's like, okay, let's just keep him for 2025 because it's too late now to try to get somebody in and implement them in. I think 2026 they're definitely getting somebody. But the whole Perez cheating thing, or with what the whole comment is, apparently they didn't want to cause a safety car, so they forced him to drive back to the pits with broken.
Okay, that's what the comment means. Oh, okay.
But then the Sainz and Albon crash happened anyway, and then there was a safety car.
Yeah.
So that's why they were talking about the unsafe condition. They really didn't want a safety car because they didn't want it the pack to bunch up again because Norris had a lead, right?
Yeah.
Because they didn't want it. They didn't want the risk, and that this is the final safety car, right? Merck put on fresh tires. There was an opportunity for us to put on fresh tires.
Yeah.
Do you think it would? But I think we only had hards left. Yeah, and Russell had mediums. I don't know if that was the right idea or not. Was that another thrown opportunity away? Because if you box like how Merck boxed and you put fresh tires on, do you catch Max? Because Max didn't box.
I don't think you do.
I think Max on that last stint was insane.
Yeah, I don't think you do catch Max. What did Max finish on at the end? Was he 7 seconds ahead? No, was it like 3 seconds?
I'll check now.
3 point something. Bearing in mind that we had a safety car, and his restarts on the safety car on both occasions, superb. Or
he was doing, man. He did it in the actual place where you can't really do much.
I didn't know if it was poor from us or if it was just brilliant from Max. I was sort of like,
I think the second one wasn't as good by Lando. The first one was good, but no, the first one. Wow, who was it? It wasn't. Who did the safety car? I think it was Russell. I think Lando was a little bit caught napping.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like he was rapid on that stint. There's nothing much we can do. But do you think we would have fared better on fresher tires? Because we were on used mediums.
We could have, but like, as in who? Lando or Oscar?
Both. I think Oscar's tires went off a cliff. That's the whole reason why he lost the position.
But Oscar, you know what? So Lando's tire management and sort of race management, as people like to call it, is what's going to make Oscar look worse than he actually is management-wise. Because Oscar, I don't think is doing a bad job managing those tires as such. But because Lando's so good at it, it makes Oscar look not that great at it at all.
Yeah.
Because Oscar's tires, as you said, they fell off a cliff. Now, you know, to the layman's terms, when you hear that statement, you think, oh, okay, so the tires just, you know, McLaren just eats up his tires. Or is it that when you look at Norris, whose tires behaved all year round, what's Oscar then doing in the same car?
Norris has been in the team for how long? He understands the relationship with the car and the tires and how to manage it. He knows how to bring them in easy and stuff like that. He doesn't know that yet. Oscar is probably a very, very difficult task. And he's got two Mercedes behind him with fresh tires.
Yeah.
So you put him in, that's a real bad scenario, which makes me think if you're going to box someone, I think you maybe split the strategy, box Oscar for fresh tires or box both. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then the team knows how fast we are on the hards. If the hards take too long to warm up, we're losing to Mercedes. We're getting people.
Yeah.
And then there's the second scenario where everybody's been talking about is should of Lando laid back and gave Oscar DRS the whole time?
No. What you don't want, like what Oscar was basically doing was in a handicap match, he was going to lose anyway. And rather than because I did not want Lando to enter that conversation under no circumstances. If Lando can go
second.
Exactly. If Lando can go, let him go. Just in fact, as you know, Oscar was the sacrificial lamb for RP2. You understand what I'm saying? And did what he could. What was very concerning, though, Mahad, is what I'll say is this from the team's perspective. They asked Oscar if they wanted Lando to come here, or do you want to?
Or do you have more pace than Lando? Do you want to come on? Yeah, this is why I'm pissed off for Oscar, because Oscar said at the end of the race, after the race, he said, we need to work on some things regarding communication and stuff like that. This guy's getting attacked by Russell. Yeah. And you're asking him these type of questions.
Oh, okay. I thought you said you were getting annoyed. I thought you said you're getting annoyed with Oscar.
No, I don't get annoyed at Oscar. I got annoyed at the team for asking that question at that moment. You can't ask him that question. This guy's on old tires with Russell behind him. I
didn't understand it, because when it happened, I thought, have I missed something here? Because these are very clever people who know what they're doing in terms of a race weekend.
Yeah.
So my instinct was, I'm clearly wrong about this, but why am I wrong about this? Because when they're asking him if you want to go ahead, if you got their pace to attack and go ahead with Lando, and he's saying, look, I kind of got my hands full, guys. I'm thinking, are you not watching this guy? It's like, this guy is about to, he's bench pressing 2 Mercedes behind him.
Exactly. You can't be asking in a corner as well. Don't ask him this question. Please don't ask him this question. Secondly, I don't know. I need to listen to all the radios, because I don't know if I need to wait for it to get uploaded to YouTube. I don't know if they asked Lando first, can you catch Max? And Lando said, nah. And then they've said, Oscar, can you catch Max? I need to know if they radioed Lando first.
Interesting.
I understand. You have to give Oscar the option. Do you feel like you can catch this guy? Because at that point in time, McLaren, all they care about is the win. They don't care if it's Oscar or Lando.
Yeah.
If Lando has rejected it and said, I can't catch Max, he's gone. I'm happy with P2, because there's no way I'm catching this guy. He's gone. If Oscar feels like he's bottled up behind Lando and I'm faster than you, right, but fine. And that's why I asked him, can you do 17 whatever? I don't know what lap time it was, 17.6.
Yeah.
And which was probably what Lando was doing. So asking Oscar that question in that scenario, when it's clearly evident this guy's fighting for his life with a Mercedes, clearly he's not faster.
It blew my mind.
Clearly he's not faster. So you shouldn't ask those questions in those scenarios. And this is why Oscar said after the race in his interview, we need to work on this communication thing. But that shouldn't be a scenario, of course. That shouldn't even be a line of questioning.
Good. I mean, it's good that got that. That's what Oscar was thinking, because I genuinely was like, am I missing something here? Why have they asked him that question there in this moment in time? It's a bizarre, strange one. Musab saying Oscar is not going to get much better with the tire management. Lando had his ability in the first season. 2019 McLaren were putting Lando out long. Interesting. I'm not slating Oscar, Musab continues to say, by the way. He's a top driver, top 6 this year. I just don't think he'll be up with Lando in tire management. Thoughts? What's your thoughts on that comment?
I don't know regarding that point, because I think let me just give me more time to evaluate what's going on. Obviously, when we're talking about Lando, we're not talking about, he's just good at time management. He's one of the best in Formula One. We're talking about creme de creme.
Yeah.
Why would you expect Oscar to be that level immediately, right? So it's really about just giving him the right amount of time to prove if he can or cannot do that. So I'm not going to come up with like closed-end statement saying he will never be better. That aspect. Let's just see what happens in it.
What do you think about this? Big up to McLaren fans, Serbia. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're well. Piastri versus George Russell. I have the impression that Oscar is much more aggressive than Lando. Mahad, I nearly screamed in my house when they went side by side into, what was it? What turn is it? What turn is that?
Wall of Champions corner.
Is it the 13th, 14th? So Wall of Champions, yeah. Mate, I thought it was going to happen. I thought Oscar and George were going to make contact and be done.
Do you know what it is? Yeah. Do you know what it is? Everybody talks about how Sainz and Oscar, they shouldn't be on track, together. It's really Russell and Oscar,
That boy George.
Because Russell drives like a maniac already. We already know that. And Russell drives you know what he drives like? He drives with entitlement.
He does.
He drives with entitlement. He's like, you're gonna move out the way from me. This is my space, right? And he's probably thinking in his head, oh, it's only Oscar. He's a nice guy. He's not gonna. He's gonna give me space. And I'll tell you now, yeah. If that was Norris, yeah, he might give the space because Norris is a clean racer. Oscar ain't going nowhere. Oscar's no punk, especially when it comes to defending. He's not moving anywhere. He had no intention of moving. He had no intention of giving the space.
It felt like he lost. Like it wasn't even defending anymore. It felt like he lost his place and then attacked to get it back. He didn't even feel like
he's never. This is why I love Oscar. He's not giving up that corner. I know he's probably not thinking long term. Like, oh, I might get damaged. Oh, I might not. I'm not thinking long on the race. He's just thinking in my head, am I a pussy? I'm not a pussy. Oscar's hard as nails. He's like, I'm not having this. And I know those two together in the same place. This is what's happening with Sainz as well. Sainz drives with entitlement as well. Sainz is very aggressive. So when you go, Piastri is aggressive driver.
Yeah.
Let's not get it twisted. He might have a very calm demeanor, whatever. This guy's very aggressive.
He's definitely aggressive,
especially defensively.
Because he was aggressive.
For you to think, oh, this guy's going to be a moving cone. He's going to get out of my way.
Nah,
absolutely no chance.
I have this sense of feeling, even when I watched Oscar do his interview post race for the F1 channel, and is it Jack Doohan was like one of the co-hosts or whatever.
Yeah,
I have a feeling he does not rate any of these young guys. Like, I just feel like when he looks at George, when he looks at Jack, when he looks at certain man, I think he just thinks, I don't rate you guys. Like, I came to Formula 3 and Formula 2 and I dusted it clean.
Oscar's extremely confident person.
Clearly.
Look at the first couple. Look at the first thing. Look how he defended against Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hamilton was trying to have a go at him. He was like, I'm all right.
Step back. I remember when Hamilton tried to go at him last year at Silverstone, and he was like, step back. You relax. You just cotch right there. Mate. George, Ricky says here, George and K-Mag are the worst to fight on the grid by far. Like you said, when K-Mag was on those, what tire was he on? The full wets at the start of the race, and you just thought, please don't touch any of my guys.
And I'm not saying Oscar's aggressive, like attacking people. I think he can do clean overtake stuff like that. Yeah, it's when somebody tries to be aggressive with him, he's gonna retaliate.
Yeah,
every single time.
He is,
and that's what Sainz has tried to do with him. That's what George is trying to do with him. It's not really happened with Hamilton, because Hamilton's not as dirty of a driver like that. But
no,
that it was bound to happen. At that moment, I said, yeah, that double podium's gone. It's over.
It's gone. Yeah, it's such a shame.
But
such a shame.
It's just his times have gone. You could tell, man. He lost so much time to Lando. It was finished, man.
Guys, do me a favor, smash a like on the video. There's about 20 plus of you watching right now. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Let's ramp these likes up. Scoop on Football says, Norris better than Russell, confirmed or not?
Well, me personally, I don't think it's a conversation.
Exactly.
I've said that for a very long time now. I don't.
Oh dear.
I don't know who still believes this in terms of Russell being better than Norris. How much evidence do you need, man? Every time I have these conversations, somebody telling me about F2. They've been in F1 since 2009. We have a data sample. We have an F1 data sample. Don't tell me about F2. I don't care.
Oh God, it's a lot going on. Shout out to the Oracle. He said a comment earlier that I do want to put up, and he said, "Look, this is our 2020 Red Bull season. What do you reckon about that?"
100%. Because I said the plan has already been laid out. Zach Brown said 2024 consistent podiums, which is happening right now. Literally the definition of consistent podiums, and then 2025 we can go for a title charge. We're just setting everything up right now. Like I said, this is a training year, everybody. I don't want people to overreact. I don't want people to stay calm. I need people to stop reacting to non-McLaren fans. They're just goading you, man. They're literally just goading you. You need to relax. We know where we're at as a team. That this is a training year. You learn your lessons. We're going to see some fumbles here and there. We're going to see some strategy mistakes. We're going to see some mistakes under pressure from the drivers or from the team on the sidelines. It's going to happen because it's all in preparation for next year and for the future.
Dre is saying here, Oscar's losing points because of his aggressive defenses. I like it, but it costs him too. He and Lando are very different in that way.
Yeah, 100%. And then Lando's accused of being too soft, letting people through and stuff like that. and Oscar's the complete opposite. But Lando's way scores more points.
There you go.
Because when I look at it now, if Oscar was even scoring 80% of the rate as Lando, we would be ahead of Ferrari right now in constructors.
Oh, no doubt.
Because Oscar being on 81 points is an absolute travesty.
Yeah. It is,
81 points, that's a travesty. He should not be on 81 points. He needs to be at least in triple digits.
He'll be there soon, though. He'll be there soon. Z, big up yourself, says Norris being better than Russell. You're damn right. And TSJ Awesome says it's not even a conversation. Bro, let's get into the awards for the weekend. We'll start with our drivers. Let's go with Mr. Lando Norris. P2, podium. What are we saying?
9.7.
9.7.
That's his best driver of the season.
Yeah?
The worst thing is I gave him a 10 for Miami just because he won. But if he won this race, I would have gave him 10.5. Just to emphasize how good.
Because the conditions were so mixed, and the adaptability, the balance, having it right. You know what I mean? It's actually quite impressive. Like for both drivers, not our drivers, but as in both Lando and Max. I'd really, I've always appreciated what Max is and who he is and what he's done in Formula One. But that kind of racing, when you think about it, that's a man who's I think Brundle said it on commentary, something like, that's a man who looks like he's about to go win. Is it his third title? No, fourth title, or whatever. He said something like, this is what a 3-time world champion looks like, type thing. It was almost along them lines. But yeah, Lando Norris, phenomenal for me. I'll go 9.5 on that with the Oracle. I'm keeping it to the multiples of.
Should I stick to
no,
multiples of 0.5? I'll say 9.5 as well. I'm conforming, guys.
The 9.7 was hilarious because I get it. It's better than the 9.5. You know what I mean? But it's not quite the 10. Ricky Bobby says 9 out of 10. Drea saying 9.5 for Oscar. Sorry, 9.5 for Lando. Oscar 8.5. 9.5 says Z. Everybody seems to be on the 9 to 9.5 with Mr. Lando Norris. Piastri?
I think Piastri was fantastic.
What are you going to give him?
I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
8's quite comfortable, isn't it? Right there.
I think he was really solid first in those tricky conditions. I think he's one of the only ones that didn't really make a mistake. I think he was really good, especially if the safety car didn't come out. We're looking at 1-2. He was going to overtake Max and he was going to overtake Russell quite comfortably as well. And quality, he stuck it on the second row, same as Lando.
Yeah, that's why I'm going 8.5 because he stuck it on the second row in quali. And Oscar is fast. We know he is, but fast lap times in quali is not just based on pace alone. Like you've got to have everything together. And for me, I feel like Oscar's just getting better and better and better at qualifying. Before, I never used to really expect much of him. Then I watched when we're watching Q1 or Q2, and you just see him rise up to second, and you're like, "Wow, snap! What's going on there?" Type thing. That he's impressing me every single time I'm watching him on there. 9.9. He just knows when to do things. He's not impatient. I guess is
that Lando?
I'm wondering if that's a Lando comment. I'm not too sure. Big up yourself, Nida. Hope you are well. Nida Vida. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing well. What about the pit crew? Anything to say on the pit crew there?
I'll give him like a 7. They were in
7?
the top 10. I don't think it was the fastest pit stop, but we're still faster than Red Bull. So
yeah,
I'll take that.
No, exactly. And strategist. Lando. Makes sense.
I'll let you do that one first.
Strategist. Okay, so safety car caught us out. It weren't really their fault as such. I like the idea that they gambled with Lando keeping him on those inters longer and longer. Asking Oscar whether he's ready to attack Max when he's having to bench press 2 Mercedes behind him. Weird. So overall, I'm gonna give them an 8. I think 8 is fair. I'll give him an 8.
I think I'm going to give him 7.5 just because I think the whole strategy of how they set up for the weekend was good.
The setup was good.
They set the car up to be
high
downforce, competitive in the rain, easy on the tires. It's really a good understanding of the weather. Something that a lot of McLaren's been accused of not doing, understanding the weather. They understand that it's spot on.
We have got this,
and you have to give them credit for that. I don't think people are acknowledging it. They got the weather and everything's spot on from the beginning of the weekend to now, to the end of the weekend.
Lest we forget, in the rain, Ferraris went on the hards. Let's not forget. We've been here before, yeah. We've been here before, and that wasn't to take a dig at Ferrari, but just we've come a long way. Like you said, the minute you said we've been judged to not know not even judge the weather correctly.
Yeah,
honestly, yeah.
But I kind of dock him some points because dodgy radios, like you just said, dodgy, and I just want them to kind of react to what's going on track. If you see Logan Sargent's parked up, get that pit crew ready now and call Lando in.
Would it have been worse had Lando pit?
Even if it's a dummy thing, just get him. Just you have to watch the actual what's going on the track instead of seeing. Oh, is that I called it yet?
What would you have done?
Look where he is.
What would you have done? What would you done if the crew went out?
Lando I think that would have happened. You know, I reckon if Lando just made his own decision and went in.
Yeah,
I don't think the pit crew was ready. It's the same thing with Kevin Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen came in. His pit crew was not ready. They did not know. He just came in. Of his own volition, he just came in. He said, "Get me off the wets." I don't think we would have been ready. That would have been even more of a disaster.
Yeah, there you go.
So go around another lap and then boxing for a normal amount of time.
No, exactly. Is it Nida? Nida, let me know in the comment section. 6, bad call on safety car. I mean, I don't know. Like, you've made the point though, Mahad, right? You've made the point. 6 is very harsh though. I feel like it's very, very harsh. Musaba's in agreement. 6. Ricky, 6.5. Z says 7 for the pit crew, 7.5. Nasty business with Oscar.
Don't radio him that, man. He was pissed. I could tell he was pissed, man.
Actually 7 overall, but weird sketchiness going on. I've always had PTSD with weather, but this was good. Think of Zandvoort last year, says Drea. It weren't that long. Oh, Steph, shout out to you, Steph. Andrea Stella. I think he needs to get his own thingy, doesn't he? I think
Andrea Stella Award.
He needs an Andrea Stella Award. Yeah. The Stella Awards. Yeah, we should just call it that. But yeah, what do we think of the man? Because he, for the first time, said something that I was like, you know, when he mentioned about the communication, we didn't really have a
we didn't have a procedure for safety car came out. That's
come on, Stella.
I don't even know if that's up to him or if it's up to somebody else. But how can you go into a wet race and not have a procedure if the safety car comes out?
You can't.
I don't know whether they had it for Oscar and they didn't have it for Lando, but they need to have it for both drivers, especially if one's leading. Shout out to Nader. Well,
shout out to Nader. Says Agrima had something. Same thing happened in a Grand Prix where Mag crashed and they did not pit him. Oh, yeah.
When Magnussen crashed and they didn't pit Lando. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. They did not call him in again and waited for a safety car that they could have braved. Assessed a safety car will be thrown. Yeah,
if you see a car in the middle of the track and it's in half, you know it's going to be safety car.
It's safety car business.
What we doing? They might red flag it, mate. Just come inside.
Yeah. It was like Mexico last year. Obvious red flag, but they still pitted him. But hey, as Z said, listen, in Stella we trust, you know. In Stella we trust. Of course, we still trust him, but
this is, do you know what it is? Do you know what it is, guys? Yeah. You have to see it like this. Every single time there's a little error or something's going wrong and we don't agree with a mistake, whatever, that goes into the memory banks. That's a data set collected. Because you have to understand McLaren's not been in that scenario. I think they learned their lesson with weather because they managed that perfectly.
Yeah. Listen, 2012, as you said, probably the last time we were fighting for race, maybe a championship, was over 10 years ago. You know, we got
staff, not the same staff.
Only Stella was probably the only one there, if it was him. But yeah, so there's a grace period in this season where they can make all the mistakes they want as long as they're gathering data and they're learning from the mistakes, which we believe they're doing so. 100%. Stella being confused why the car is good in low speed corners was too funny coming into the weekend.
We're overperforming, man. We're cooking, man.
He said
they're cooking in the lab and they're like, oh, what? Imagine these guys are cooking 5-star meals and they don't even know. They're like, what's going on? We don't even know. This isn't the first time he said this. He said this at a Grand Prix again with the slow corners. Where was it? Was it Monaco.
Was it? No, I swear it was before Monaco.
He said we were performing better than expected in low speed. I think we look good in low speed, man.
Yeah, well, clearly. Stella needs to update.
I don't know if we gave up too much on high speed, but we'll see what happens. Barcelona's a proper architect track. We'll find out what's going on next race.
Yeah. It was China. Thank you. It was China, Ricky. Because I remember him saying it.
Oh yeah, we didn't understand why. Remember, we were dreading China.
We were dreading
China. Absolutely dreaded it. We cooked. We didn't know why. And this is before the upgrades.
Say again?
And that was before the upgrades, China.
Yeah, that was before.
And he didn't understand why we were good in China. But at the end of the day, I feel like once they start to understand, we can move forward. And I just hope like Red Bull and Ferrari, their gains are not a gaining, because that Miami upgrade, the Imola upgrade from Ferrari didn't look all that.
Yeah.
And I'm hearing Red Bull's going to bring an upgrade to to Barcelona. If that jumps them forward again, then we're in big trouble. But if the gains are quite small and we've got something coming, boy.
I'm feeling Spain. I can't lie. I'm feeling it in Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Nadar says, out of topic, but do we believe Merck is back? No.
Absolutely not.
No chance.
We don't look behind us on this one.
Hey, listen, they still supply our engines, isn't it? Yeah, so we got, there's a mutual respect there. Don't get me wrong, but
they're not good. They're not good in high speed, medium speed. There's not really that much on that track.
Nader, last week,
what they're good at was Canada, basically.
Exactly the same way Ferrari was good at friggin' Monaco, right? And they told us, Ferrari, they're here now. Yeah, they're here.
Q2 in dry conditions.
Dre's asking the same question about Mercedes. Do we think they'll be back again? They will have a moment in somewhere along the calendar. Don't get me wrong, but absolutely not. They're literally. Anyway, that's another topic for another day. But
they're bringing a lot of upgrades. So,
but the harm they're doing on Hamilton at this moment in time is phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Anyway, guys, we got to shoot. We'll be back after the Spanish Grand Prix, Barcelona business, people. And yes, we'll be talking all things there. Hopefully, we shall be looking at another podium. What do you reckon? Quick prediction of the Spanish Grand Prix?
Yeah, I think another podium. I'm not going to try to guess for a win. I was close last week. I said Canada were going to win. I was this close, guys.
I'm thinking double podium in Barcelona, mate.
I've missed the double podium. We haven't had one in so long, man.
Doubles all round, people. Doubles all round. Until after the Spanish Grand Prix, we'll see you then. Guys, P2 in... Oh, look at this, Steph. Steph, a person after my own heart here. Even a 1-2 McLaren. Look at the people getting the predictions in. Until next time, guys, remember, Canada, the curse is broken. First points in 10 years at Montreal, Gilles Villeneuve circuit. Until next time, though, we'll see you after the Spanish Grand Prix, Tuesday at 7 p.m. UK time. Till then, peace.